Very good morning, students. Welcome back to online revision class 13. In a revision class 12, we have discussed about the various topics related to the cues. Now, we'll just look into the revision class 13. The same warning note for the students for all the revision classes. Note, this information is for the students not to skip the videos for the betterment of the students to understand the revision concepts. First, the previous theory classes of a particular topic was being covered. Those videos will be played and followed by that revision concept on the same topic will be carried out. Now, we'll see that what are the topics we are going to cover into today's session. The topics to be covered in the revision class 13 is we'll look into the algorithm for NQ, algorithm for DQ, and also we are going to see that the applications of queues. These are the topics which we are going to cover today. Now we'll look into the brief discussion onto the algorithms.
Push and pop algorithm or linear search or binary search or the sorting, or else they may ask you the algorithm for NQ and DQ. NQ means insertion, DQ means deletion. Now they may ask you the algorithm for inserting an element into a queue, right? An algorithm for inserting an element into the queue, or NQ. If they ask, write an algorithm for NQ, you are supposed to write this algorithm. So here we have, if rare is equal to n minus 1, I told you when you are using rare, you are checking the queue is overflowing, or the queue we have reached the maximum size of the queue by inserting the element. You will check whether the queue has reached to the maximum size. For example, I have a queue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My n value is 6. So rare is equal to n minus 1 means 6 minus 1 is 5. If I reach 5, I tell my queue maximum size is reached. So I just use the maximum size of my queue. So I tell the queue is overflowing. You will check rare is equal to n minus 1. So what is my n? N is equal to 5. Now what will be your rare? Your rare is nothing but 5 minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. Your n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your n is 6. So your n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. Your rare will become now n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1. You have 5. So now your rare is 5. Okay? Understood? Now print overflow. If we reach this maximum size, we have to tell that is overflowing. Imagine this is your front end and this is your rear end. Okay, these are the two pointers which are pointing toward the queue, where front is pointing to 0 position, rear is pointing here. So you need to first, initially it will be pointing, both will be pointing here only. So rear will be keep on incremented. Initially when you are not inserted anything, rear also and front also will be pointing to the same end only, that is 0. Okay, now if front is equal to null, after deleting everything, if front is equal to null, that means you are checking whether this one is empty. That means your queue is empty. Then you are initializing front is equal to 0, null is equal to 0 once all the elements are deleted. Now no elements are there. So initially front and rear is pointing to 0. Now you want to insert an element. Imagine I want to insert element A. So I am inserting my element A. Item A, I am giving it to Q of rare. What is my Q of rare? Q of 0, I am giving it to A. I am giving A to the Q of rare, that is Q of 0. I am giving my item A. So Q of 0, here Q of 0, I am giving the item A. Okay. Now your rare gets incremented, rare will become rare plus 1. Now your rare will be pointing here. So now I am giving the element B. Q of 1, I am giving the item B. Okay, again your rare will be incremented. I am giving Q of 2, I am giving the element C. Again your rare will be incremented. So D, Q of 3, I am giving D. Next Q of 4, your rare will be incremented. Q of 5, your rare will be incremented. Then again when the maximum size is reached, reached here, it will tell rear is equal to 5, that is still F5 added. So this is my rear end. Now my rear is pointing to the position 5. So till we reach here, see, I have added Q of 0A, Q of 1B, Q of 2C, Q of 3D, Q of 4E, Q of 5. I have inserted the element 5. Sorry, I have inserted the element F. So Q of 5, I have inserted the element F, that is my rear end. When it reaches to a maximum size, my Q is overflowing. So when Q is overflowing, I just print it as overflow and I exit of the program. So when I want to delete, that I will show you in the DQ algorithm. This is only inserting an element into an algorithm. Next we'll see the DQ algorithm. Okay, next we'll see the algorithm for deletion, or it is also called as DQ. So we have 3 steps here. First we'll check if front is equal to null, then we'll tell that the Q is equal to, that is the Q is empty. When front is equal to null, we'll check the underflow whether Q is empty or not. So when front is equal to null, we'll print the message it is underflow, exit. Now if you want to delete, if I want to delete my Q of front, I'll give it to my item. So initially my item, what is my item? What is my Q of front? Now I want to delete. Deletion always takes place from your front end. So Q of front, that is Q of 0. I have the element Q of 0. I have 10. Now item 10. Item is equal to 10. I am going to delete my item 10. That is nothing but my initially Q of 0. So I am deleting this 0. What is there in the 0th position? 10. Now I am deleting 10. Now what will happen? If this condition takes place, this I will check later. Next it will be front is equal to front plus 1. Again this F gets incremented. Front will become front plus 1. Okay. So now what is my Q of 1? Q of 1 is 20. I delete 20. Again front is incremented. So F will be here. Again what is Q of 2? I have 30. 30 is deleted. Now front and rear are pointing to the same index, that is 3. Here they are telling if front is equal to rear, then Q has only one element. So when see now I have only one element in my Q, that is 40. At what condition front and rear will become equal? Front and rear becomes equal only when the Q is having one element. Now again what is there in a Q of 340? I delete 40. Okay. So all the elements get deleted. So now your front is equal to null. At this condition your Q is empty. Okay. See, when front and rear becomes null, the Q is empty. Front is equal to null, rear is also equal to null. I have deleted all the elements. When front and rear are pointing to the same position, that means the Q is having only one element. So if you want to delete, you are incrementing your front is equal to front plus 1. You are giving the item to Q of front, Q of 0, Q of 1, Q of 2, Q of 3. At the last element, if front is equal to rear, that means your Q is having only one element. You delete both, you delete that, and both will be pointing to null. Now when front is equal to null, you can tell that the Q is empty. So this is about your Q. At the last, we will see at the end. Now we have reached end of Q's concept. We will see the application. We will wind up in the next session. We will see the new concepts. Next we will see about the applications of Q's. So application of Q's, this is your last concept. So we have the applications that we call it as simulation. First we have the first application of Q's, we have simulation. So you are aware of when we just try to implement something, try to implement any software, we can't implement as and when because it will be much more cost effective. So before doing it practically, before bringing it to a live project, we always use the system softwares to simulate the real world things. The real world things have to be brought into the software. I call that as a simulation. Most of the simulations we use Q's. So where Q's are used to do the simulations, let it be a networking project or any other project. If you want to give the project, if you want to bring the project in the real-time environment, any project, so before going into implementation, if it is a big project, before the implementation cost will be in dollars or it will be in crores, it will be in billions and trillions of dollars. They are not what they do. Before getting into the work, before getting into the real-time thing, they just go for the simulation software. There we have the there we are using queues, we are implementing queues. Then we have various features of OS, we have a number of features of OS. There again we see, let it be process management, let it be memory management. Here we spoke about in the operating systems we have many scheduling algorithms like round robin, different scheduling algorithms. There are again most of the features of OS, there they use queues. Next we have multi-programming platform system. So the execution of the program, where a multi-programming can be done, more than one program can be executed. So in the multi-programming concept, again the queues provides a platform for that. Again different types of scheduling algorithm. So this is one of the work of our operating system. The scheduling of the work has to be done by the OS, operating system. Your OS stands for operating system. So here the different types of scheduling algorithm. So the printer is, the output device is asking for memory, the input device is asking for memory. Okay, when the other programs will be in need of memory. So in such cases, who will be served first? That we call it as a scheduling. For which job you are allocating the memory and how much time you are allocating for that job, we call that as a scheduling algorithm. So many scheduling, this is for requesting the memory, because without the main memory a program cannot be executed. So operating system will do the scheduling algorithm, allocating the memory. So how much time for each job it takes, it has to keep track of all those things. So for different kinds of scheduling algorithm we use queues. So one of that is round robin technique. Round robin technique we have. We will not begin much what is round robin technique and all. Just you mentioned we are using queues in the round robin technique also. So next we have printer server routine. Even in the printer server routine we have the implementation of queues. Mostly in the operating systems. The operating system mostly implements the queue or the applications. We find the application widely in the OS, operating system. Simulations, multi-programming platform system, we have different scheduling algorithm like round robin scheduling algorithm and printer server routine. So this is about your queues. So I'll discuss what we discussed in today's class. I started freshly with another linear data structure called queues. So we have seen what is queue, the definition for queues, and we have seen the operation of queues. We have seen the memory representation of queues by using arrays and by using linked lists. Then we have seen the algorithms for enqueue and dequeue, inserting an element into a queue, deleting an element into a queue, and we have even discussed about the type. When we discussed about the definition for queue, we spoke about types of queue. Okay, later we have seen, after discussing the algorithm for enqueue and dequeue, we have seen the application. So applications is the last concept of your queues. Thank you students. We'll discuss the rest of the concept in the tomorrow's session. Good morning students, welcome back to our online class. So in today's session we'll be discussing about algorithms. So we'll discuss about the algorithm to insert into a queue. We call that as enqueue, and how to delete the elements from a queue, we call that as a dequeue, and we'll see the applications of queues. Okay. So last class I just give the gist of what we have discussed in the last class. In the last class we studied the definition for queue. What is queue? Queue is an ordered collection of elements where the insertion of the elements takes place at the end, we call it as a rear end, and the deletion of the elements takes place at the other end, which we call it as a front end. So we have two ends, both the ends, one end is used for insertion, the other end used for deletion. So we have the facility of having both the ends where insertion and deletion can be done at two separate ends. So hence we call that as a queue. The best example I have given is students standing in a cafeteria. So the students who come first will be served first. So first come first serve base. Okay. So here we call it as a FIFO. So LIFO is stack and FIFO is queues, first in first out. Okay, first in first out, we call that as a queue. Later we discuss about the types of queues. In types of queue we have four types of queue: simple queue, priority queue, DQ and double-ended. Simple queue, circular queue, priority queue and DQ. So we have discussed each in detail. Later we have seen about the memory representation of a queue by using linked list and memory representation of a queue by using stacks. Later we have seen the operations of queues too, where we discussed about the operations of queues. The operation of first operation is queue, then DQ and enqueue. That is we call it as inserting an element. So inserting an item we have enqueue, deleting an item we call DQ, and is empty and size. These are the operations of queues. Okay, in today's class we'll be discussing about the algorithms. So this algorithm already I have discussed in the regular class completely. So again I'll just discuss about the algorithms. So we'll discuss an algorithm first for NQ, later for DQ. Next we'll see the applications of Qs. Okay. Now we'll see. So I just traced the algorithm even in the last session in your regular class. So just I'll tell you what two things to keep in your mind, how to remember the algorithm. So here what I'll tell you is, so as I told we have two ends. As I told we have two ends. Okay, imagine this is your Q. So 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Imagine this will be your rear end. This is your front end. Okay, so rear end I will be inserting, front end I will be using it for deletion. So if rear is equal to n minus 1, so if rear reaches to the maximum size of your Q, for example, the maximum size of my Q is 5, imagine n is equal to 5, since we started from 0, so 0, so 5 minus 1 is 4. If the maximum size of the Q is 5, so we reach from 0 to 4, that means we have reached to the, when rear reaches to the maximum size of the Q, we call it as a Q is overflowing. As we saw in the stack, the same condition. Once the Q size is full, we call that as a overflow. Okay. Next, we print the message it is overflowing. Once front is equal to null, then check whether Q is empty or not. Okay. When front and Q both are pointing to null, we call that condition as the Q is empty. When we delete all the element and front and rear is equal to null, we call that as a empty. One more conditions we have to check. Okay. If front equal to front equal to rear. Okay. Front and rear if both are pointing, for example, see I deleted all the elements here. Front is also pointing to this position, rear pointer is also pointing to this position. Imagine I have deleted all the elements, only one element I am having. So in such cases we call, when we have only one element, for example only imagine I am having A, rest all I deleted. When front and rear is equal, both are equal, that means only one element is present. Okay. When both are null, when front is also pointing to null, rear is also pointing to null, that means that the Q is empty. Okay. Next, front is equal to 0, rear is equal to 0. Initially both will be 0. So what I will do, rear is equal to rear plus 1. Then I will keep on inserting the item into your Q. I will take it as 4 only. So imagine my rear was here. So I will insert the item. What is the item? Rear of 0. I want to insert the element 10. Okay, if I want to insert the element 10, again rear will be incremented. Rear is equal to rear plus 1. Again rear will be pointing to 1. Now I am inserting the element 20. Again rear will be pointing here. Now again I am inserting the element 30. Rear will be pointing here. I am inserting 40. Rear will be pointing here. I am inserting 50. Okay. Once I reach this condition, my Q is full. It will tell that Q is overflowing. Next we will see once I start deleting this elements, what happens. So this algorithm is only for inserting. So every time I give the item, your item is the numericals are given. Q of rear. Rear is nothing but the pointer where it is pointing, the index we have to take. So your rear is 0. So Q of 0, what I have 10. Then Q of 1 I have 20. Then Q of 30, sorry, Q of 2 I have 30, Q of 3 I have 40, Q of 4 I have 50. So this is how we'll start inserting into the Q. Next we'll see the deletion, okay, for DQ. Okay students, next we will discuss an algorithm for deletion. We also call this for DQ. We also call this as DQ. This is an algorithm for deletion. So we call this as DQ. NQ is for insertion, DQ is for deletion. Okay, this is called as DQ. So as I was telling, now we have already imagined by using insertion, by using an algorithm to insert an element into a Q, I have inserted 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So my n is 5. My Q size is 5. Imagine my Q size is 5. So if front is equal to null, then Q is empty. When front is equal to null, we tell that as a Q is empty. Okay, imagine I have front here. This is my rear. When front is pointing to null, we mean that the queue is empty, we have deleted all the elements. Else what we have to do, we have to delete the element. Now queue of front, front is pointing to 0. So what is there in queue of front? I have the element 10. So 10 will be deleted, 10 will be deleted. Again we'll just increment the front. Again when front is equal to 1, what element we have? 20 will be deleted. Again front will be pointing here. So when it's pointing, 30 will be deleted. Again front will be pointing here. When it's pointing to the index 3, 40 will be deleted. Now again front will be incremented. Now front and rear both are pointing to, see now front and rear both are pointing to 4. As I told you, when front and rear both are pointing and both are equal, that means we have only one element in the queue. So we delete this also. Okay, so this is a condition. When front is equal to rear, then what is the condition? Queue is having only one element. So this I'll delete. So after deleting everything, okay, front will also be pointing to null. It will not point anywhere. So both will be pointing to null. Front is pointing to null. Rear is also pointing to null. Okay. When front and rear both are pointing to null, we call that as what? Queue is empty. Okay. When front is equal to null, rear is equal to null, the queue is empty. Okay, else will be incrementing front is equal to front plus 1, but this condition is false. Why? Because here the condition gets true. Front, after deleting all the elements, what happens? Front is equal to null, rear is equal to null. So here you see, once the front is equal to null, we have to check that the queue is empty. Now at this point of time, once you start deleting all the elements in the queue, so it will pop a message telling that the queue is empty. Okay, so this is about the DQ algorithm. So here what we have to do, first we will check the queue is underflowing or queue is empty. Next we will just give queue of front, we just tell the item, what item to be deleted based on queue of front by incrementing the front. So at this condition it is not pointing to single element, it was not null. So what it was having, front is equal to front plus 1. So queue of front queue of 0, I deleted 10. Again front will be incremented. Queue of 1, 20 was deleted. Again front was incremented. Then queue of 2, I had 30. 30 was deleted. Then queue of 3, I had 40. 40 was deleted. Then queue of 4, I had 50. 50 got deleted. After deleting everything, now I am having a condition telling that front is also null, rear is also null. So the queue is empty. So this is about DQ. The last concept which we'll see is, we'll see the applications of queues. Okay. Now we'll see the applications of queues. So as I explained even in the regular classes, we have seen simulation, the various features of OS, multi-programming platform system, different types of scheduling algorithm, round-robin scheduling algorithm, and print server routines. For all this, we have the applications of queues. So this winds up the queues data structure. Next class I'll discuss about linked list. So I'll just discuss what we have, I just brief out what we studied in queues. Okay, we have seen the definitions, types of queues, operations, memory representation of queues. Then later we have seen the algorithm for NQ and DQ. Last but not least, we have discussed the applications of queues. Okay, but in the upcoming classes, I will discuss about the linked list concept. So in the linked list concept, even in the regular class, I just did all the algorithms. Whatever the algorithms is left over, we'll discuss in detail in your upcoming classes. Okay, thank you.
Before seeing the assignment questions, we'll just see that what are the topics we have covered in today's session. We have covered algorithm for NQ, algorithm for DQ, and also we have seen the applications of queues. These are the topics which we have been covered today. Now we'll just check it out. What are the assignment questions for the today's session? Today's topic, we have only 5-mark questions. The first question is, write an algorithm for NQ, write an algorithm for DQ, and third question, mention the applications of queues. Here we have only 3 questions based on today's session. Thank you.